You're listening to Foxx on the Wire podcast. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too, man. How you been?
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
New year, same old shit, you know.
Yeah.
Still.
Lovely backdrop, by the way. Did you have that last time?
Maybe. Like I've been trying to, because I'm trying to use more video content now. So I'm trying to get the background right. I might have had this last time, but I don't know if I used it when we spoke. I can't remember.
Yeah. Looks good though.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. I've got the TV behind, which isn't a very good backdrop. So just trying to, make it look a bit more professional, I guess.
Totally.
Yeah. So shall we start? We've probably already started, haven't we?
Yeah, we started. I'm ready.
Dude, we started like an hour ago.
Celebrations?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we had a big one yesterday, so a big celebration yesterday. So we're kind of like, recovering from a celebration with more celebrations.
Yeah. A little weird.
But you've got the video premiere. Is it it'd be tonight for you guys, wouldn't it?
No, it already happened. It was at noon for us today.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
That one comes out. Yeah, that one is not like Spotify comes out at midnight, depending on which country you're in or which time zone you're in. But right. YouTube just comes out at once for everybody. So you guys would have been sleeping.
Okay, cool. Oh, well, congratulations on the video. I haven't seen it yet. I thought, but I was one of the first to hear the new song on Spotify, I think. Is that right? Because we were in Australia.
Yeah, you were, and you were the first to share it as well.
Oh,
actually,
cool.
I told one of our friends. I think it was Austin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Austin. Like this one guitarist that we know. He shared. I thought that he shared it first. And right. So I was like, thanks for sharing it first, but it was actually you.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, all the sharing added up to a pretty good first day in terms of streaming.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was awesome. We got over 1,000 streams in the first day. Yep. I think we had almost 200 people listening on the first day.
Wow.
So average of like 5 listens per person. I know a few people were like saying that they were putting it on repeat. So that definitely helped.
Yeah, so it's a great tune again. Like everything you guys released is really, really cool, and everything sounds different from the last track I've noticed. Like each of your songs, like it always sounds like you guys, but they all sound a bit different from each other, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right strategy, but but I mean, we're having a good time, so
yeah,
that's the main thing. So the new single is called Steel Toe Boots. What's the idea behind that?
Yeah, sorry, you wanted to talk?
Nope, go for it.
Yeah, so
nope.
Basically, we were on our last Canadian tour. We were driving through the plains of Canada, which is like similar to like the central part of Australia for you guys, right? It's kind of like all deserty in the middle.
Yep.
And we had an 8-hour drive between 2 gigs, and our van, which we called the Purple Dragon, was packed to the tits. And we had like no room, and I think we ran out of data, so we couldn't even be on our phones to entertain ourselves. Yeah. So, but our producer had lent us this like tiny guitar, like it's probably about this big.
Yeah, it's a little guy. Yeah, it's not big.
It's like a baby Taylor, but I think it might even be smaller than that. Smaller than a baby Taylor. So we pulled that out and just started strumming these chords that I had. And we wrote the song in like 8 hours.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and then we then we got to our gig. It's this place called Buds on Broadway in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in Canada. And the room that they have for the band there is like out of the movie Vacancy, like literally. It looks like Yeah, it looks like you were gonna get murdered in that room.
Yeah.
So we had never seen him before, so we arrived there and we just kept our shoes on, and we started like jamming the song, and then that night we performed it.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys survived that. You know, the creepy room.
we were in there for 3 days. We were worried.
We went back this day and night too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we had to play one gig that was like a couple hours away from the Buds on Broadway. Oh, and then we had to come back. We had to come back and play another gig on the same city again. So we asked if we could spend a night. Yeah, man. Like that was our little home for like 4 days. I felt like
like almost a full week. Yeah,
almost a week there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Well, playing with fire there, boys.
Yeah. Well, we actually wrote another song inside that room.
Yeah.
That comes out next month.
Yep.
Yeah, and we actually finished that song in Australia.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at this place in was it in Melbourne, Queensbury?
You did an open mic, the Queensbury Hotel.
You know where that is?
Yes, I think so. Queensbury.
Yeah, it's like this really small pub.
Yeah, right.
Forget which neighborhood it's in, but yeah, I had this verse. We're not talking about steel toe boots anymore, but whatever. This is the next story.
That's okay.
Yeah, so we hit up this one open mic in Queensbury, and it's a really long song. It's a 6-minute song, and it has like 6 verses. It's like 3 verses, but they're like half verses. One of them I didn't really like. I just didn't like stand up to the rest of the song. And we sat down at this open mic in Melbourne, and the final verse I wrote at that table.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It's pretty special.
Do you find as a lyric writer that lyrics come to you pretty easy, Tommy?
No. I'm trying to I'm working on it a little bit more, but basically what happens is I'll write a line down, and then I'll automatically start judging it. I'll be like, oh, that's not the greatest line I've ever written. And then that like stifles my creativity, and then I stop writing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I'm working on that a lot to, try to write as much as possible and then do the judging later.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to spill it all out. Even if you're not going to use half of it, you've just got to let it flow out of you. And then, you can stand back and judge it later on. But I'm finding the older I get and, the better songs that I want to write, I'm becoming more harsh, which then sort of, puts a stake in my creativity, and I kind of just stop and have to let it be for a couple of days and then go back to it. So it's a bit of a frustrating process at the moment for me. I don't know what's going on, but I think I've just got to.
I do a lot.
Yeah.
There's a few things that I run into that a lot as well, and there's a few like techniques that you can use to try and get past it. I did I went to the songwriting workshop a few years back, and I still use a bunch of the advice that I got from some of these songwriters. And going for a drive or going near like flowing water, or if you can't, then even going in the shower, or like however you can get to flowing water, that usually helps.
Okay.
And then I have this other exercise that I do where I just write for 9 minutes.
Right.
And the exercise is all about writing. It's not about quality. And making it an exercise for me kind of takes the onus off of me, and it's just like, well, I'm just doing what I'm told, if you will, right? Like this is just the exercise. I'm just doing it, and if what I have at the end of it sucks, then it's not my fault. It's the exercise's fault.
Right. Okay.
So I'm gonna cut you off, but we did that for Boots. So when we were on the road, we did hit a construction zone where we were waiting for a bit. And I think that's where a lot of the ideas poured out. Because we had an idea about the song. It was going to be like, the construction kind of, the trades kind of theme. And then Tommy brought up this whole 9-minute rhyming exercise, and it was myself, Conroy, and Tommy just like rhyming, throwing a bunch of words. The first thing that came to mind, and then that's kind of how we structured some of the verses. And then, I think Tommy put the cherry on top with some stuff. But
we basically, had 3 pages of words, and I don't know if you listened to the song, but we obviously didn't use all 3 pages. There's like fucking, there's like 12 words in the first verse.
But that's how the title Steel Toe Boots came out of.
That's right.
Out of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was your idea.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good that you guys can sort of work together like that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really fun, and it's crazy to think that was over a year ago. Like, because we've only played that song live like a handful of times, maybe.
Yeah.
Like 5?
A little bit.
Maybe more, you think?
No, I think it was. I think we were just testing some out. I felt we played it more at like the Buds on Broadway than anything.
Right, but yeah, we basically only played the song whenever we had a shitty gig. Where like nobody showed up.
Yeah, that was our practice gig.
Yeah, we're just like, okay, we'll play it today because nobody's here to listen to it. We were like trying to keep it a secret for a long time.
Yeah.
Good time to give it a test run. I was going to ask you about the guitar sort of part. It's like not quite a riff, but the main riffy part at the start there. What sort of effect have you got on the guitar there? It sounds like some sort of octave or
there's an
sort of thing.
There's an octave and there's a fuzz and there's like this plugin that our producer uses. It's basically like a massive fuzz. Like when I play it live, I have this pedal called the Swollen Pickle, and that's what I use to replicate the sound. And then I also have a Pitchfork, which is an octave pedal. So it does a double octave, and then and then it has like a little bit of delay and stuff like that as well. And then there's actually another guitar that is there for more like ambient sound, and that one has like tremolo on it, and it's just like we basically like, it's so funny. Like the first album, I was like so worried, and I wanted like everything to be clean and to like sound a certain way. And I remember like when we started recording this song, I was like, turn everything to 11. And like literally our producer was like, well, this sounds gross. Like he like, I was telling him like, turn that shit all the way up. And then he would like move it like 1. I'm like, no, like to 10, like or 11, or move it as far as you can. And then his face would just like, like, kind of go like this. And I was like, good, that's what I want.
It sounds like you had a bit of fun with the guitars on this latest song. I could sort of hear you mucking around with the effects in the background there. I thought, he's had a lot of fun in the studio recording this song. Yeah.
Well, and it's cool that you appreciate that every song is different, because we just wanted to try something new, and not everyone's gonna like it, but so far we're getting a really positive response. So
And the music video, where did you? Oh, I guess people should just go and check it out. But did you shoot that locally?
Yeah. Okay, that's your turn to talk.
Yeah, we shot it ourselves. Actually, this summer we decided that we were going to just kind of make content ourselves, and kind of how the Foo Fighters, when they were first starting out, they did those silly music videos.
The best ones.
Kind of inspired by that. So we did a couple songs in the summertime, kind of get things going. And then when Steel Toe Boots came out, we had this whole idea. We really got that Zoolander scene when he's in the mining scene. He's just like completely, botching it and stuff like that. Yeah. So we like took that idea and just, we shot it ourselves at a construction zone that was like not supervised. And
we didn't ask for permission. We just went in there.
Yeah.
It was like the gates were open. And so we're just like, whatever, we're just going to come in here and shoot until somebody tells us to go away.
Yeah. Tommy was landscaping. So he was, lucky enough to get some construction gear for us. So we're all dressed up. We look like we're doing the job. He was the supervisor, and Conroy and myself were the grunt workers. And
Yeah.
You know, we just started shooting. You know, we just have this. Actually, the camera that we're using for the webcam is what we shot it with.
Okay.
So like, you know, we just went out there and did a few hours of shooting. We did it twice, maybe 2 days.
Yeah, because the last scene of the video has all three of us in it, but all the other scenes is either like one or two people in the shots. So we basically like handed each other the camera, and like we're like, okay, in this shot it's me and Paul, so Conroy was filming. In this other shot it's just Paul, so I'm filming. In this other shot, you know what I mean? So so we kind of did that, but then the last scene. Yeah, it's too bad you haven't seen the video.
It's pretty funny, man. Like it was just goofy. It was fun to make. And there was no stress involved, you know.
Well, you guys have way too much fun on your socials, so I'm sure the video is going to be killer. You're really good at putting out sort of funny content. So every time I see you guys have way too much fun. So it's good to see. Good to see. So how was I think Tommy, we last spoke in I think it was July last year. So we were still you know, it was all COVID, and now it's January 2021 and it's pretty much still all COVID, isn't it? How are you guys going over there?
Oh man, it's not good here. Yeah, it's like things are just getting worse and worse, no matter which way you look at it. And so, you know, I've basically stopped looking at the news. I was off Facebook for the last couple of weeks. Like now I'm back on because we're promoting a song, but over the holidays, I just turned my phone off as much as possible.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you look. Like, what was it the other day? There was new restrictions for even like construction workers. Like I think it was 400 people or less. So if you're on a construction project that has over 400 people, you're basically laid off, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty. I don't know what's happening, but obviously it's bad because Bitcoin keeps going up. It's like at $50,000 now. So that's how you know the world is going to shit. Is like how high Bitcoin is.
Yeah, and all the richest people, all the already richest people are getting richer.
Yeah, like Jeff Bezos, I think doubled his wealth in the last year.
Yeah, what the hell? I mean, doesn't that raise alarm bells for anybody?
I think a lot of people, this is what I'm finding, like whenever I go on Facebook or YouTube, well, YouTube less, but let's say Facebook, for example, it seems like nobody, like it seems like people are blind or like they don't know what's happening. But the more that I have like one-on-one conversations or like long form conversations like this with people, the more I realize like, oh shit, like people know what's happening. It's just a handful of people on social media that have kind of taken over that landscape. And I think the mainstream narrative is or the mainstream media or social media is pushing a certain narrative. So it seems that that's what's happening. But man, like I've had conversations with, I don't know, I want to say at least 100 people over the last 6 months about this stuff. And everybody thinks the same way that we think. And they're just like, this needs to end. Like this, we're causing more harm than good. And you know, the people in charge are not doing a good job.
No, all over the world, they're just not. And you know, all the small businesses are either really struggling or shutting down. While, like we said, the richer people in the world are getting richer. So there's something really just awful happening. And you know, I don't know if there's anything we can do to sort of stop it. All we can do is talk to each other and try and help each other learn what's really sort of going on. But it's not good, man. It's not good at all.
Do you know about the app called Signal?
No.
It's an encrypted messaging app. So that's what we can do right now is tell people about that.
Yep.
So we can communicate without getting spied on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the big tech guys are cracking down, aren't they? To say the least.
Yeah, they are. And I don't really care, who's right and who's wrong, and whether I'm not right leaning or left leaning really. I'm more like a centralist now is like a term.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm definitely for free speech, and that's not happening anymore. And my girlfriend's actually from Venezuela, and so I know quite well what happens when tyranny takes over. So
yeah, and I think it's
people
happening.
People don't think it could happen here.
Yeah, I don't think they know what they're sort of messing with sometimes. Like they don't realize maybe what's happening or what effects it can lead to. But all this censorship and stuff is just not good. Like we should be able to make our own decisions whether we want to listen to this person or not. That's the whole idea of following someone or not, isn't it? I mean, if I want to hear from this person, I'll follow them. If I don't, I won't. But at least give people the option to give people a voice and to listen to that voice. It's it's not cool.
Well, and I mean, the good news is that the consumer still has the power. And so, what I've been seeing is a lot of people getting off Facebook. And unfortunately, they're just migrating to Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. But and TikTok is owned by China, so I don't know if that is necessarily a good alternative. But I've noticed like a lot of my friends, even the younger ones, like the ones that are a few years younger than me, who I would think would be on Instagram, they're like, yeah, no, I'm not on social media anymore. And so their wealth is going to decrease because people that are actually having conversations like this are going to be on it less and less. Right?
Yeah, you couldn't see that it's a good business model what they're sort of rolling out at the moment. But I mean, I actually deleted my Twitter accounts the other day. Don't sort of have much use for them. I always used it, but I wasn't like it's not a high benefit to what I do. I don't think. Maybe it's just this part of the world. So I thought, no, I don't like what they're doing. So I got rid of my Twitter accounts. I'd love to get rid of Facebook, but us as musicians and this podcasting thing, it would be pretty hard not to do the whole social media thing. We do really need it as musicians, I think. Do we?
I think so too. And I mean, what I'm trying to do now is, and I mean, that's the thing, like it takes self-discipline, but what I'm trying to do is just stay on my channel, right? Just answer comments that our fans have, or that our fans are putting down, and try to stay away from the feed as much as possible.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to do the same, but it's, I'm not interested in having political debates and that sort of thing, but you kind of get pulled into it sometimes. But like you said, you got to have a bit of discipline and just cut it. And I mean, the music thing is great on socials. So maybe we just need to hammer that harder and get more content out to, cover up all the bad stuff. I don't know.
Well, it's not really a fair fight because you're going up against professional psychologists who have, tweaked the algorithms so that exactly like what you said, you kind of get sucked in. Like that's not by accident, right? Like that's on purpose. So have you seen The Social Dilemma?
No, I avoided it. Because I've already got my own reservations or whatever you want to say, and I thought it's just going to heighten what I already think, so I kind of avoided it. Should I watch it?
Well,
I didn't watch it. No,
that was a good response or a good reason for not watching it. If you already if you already know that all this shit's happening, and you're trying to stay off of it anyways, then maybe don't even bother. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's probably worse than I already think as well. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
like this is kind of where I was going to go earlier about steel toe boots. Is that I'm pretty I'm pretty stoked that our next three songs like have nothing to do with like current world issues. You know, like the song is, especially like this video, like once you see it, like you'll just have a laugh and be like, these guys are just goofing off. And you know, and our next song is like quite different from this one, but it's still like it's like just a love song, so it has nothing to do with politics. And then the one after that is just about drinking beer with your friends in a bar, which I know you can't do right now, but like we're gonna try to not say that in the post and just be like, stay positive.
yeah,
right?
yeah. We have to somehow. This thing is just, it's no end in sight. I don't think. You know, last time we spoke, I'm sure we wouldn't have thought that we were still going to be speaking about it 6 months later or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was. We were just talking about this. When was it? When we were grocery shopping or something earlier? We're just like, man, most people just get COVID. I mean, I don't know if the tests are 100% or whatever, and I don't really want to get into that. But let's say they are.
Yeah.
Let's say you test positive and you have it. You get over it.
Yeah.
Right. You get over it within like a week at most. But like most people that I know that have had it are getting over it in a few days. Right.
Yeah.
Most of the cases I'm hearing about. Paul thinks he had it. What was it like? You were really sick for one day.
Yeah, that was during March. Yeah, it was like
he didn't get tested, but
I didn't get tested, but like I had similar symptoms, like the whole no smell or taste thing. I couldn't taste or smell for like almost 2 weeks, and then the more and more I kept finding out about COVID and the symptoms, and they were like really talking about the whole no smell, no taste kind of thing. I was like, well, I could have had a real mild case of it because I got over it within like 2 days.
Yeah,
I was really sick the first day. Like I barely moved, and you know it was just like a typical flu kind of feeling thing. But you just couldn't taste or smell for a long time. Even when you were feeling good, you just couldn't taste. It took a while.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And then he has like a friend that he works with who just got it, and she barely had any symptoms, right?
Yeah, she said it was super mild. Super mild. Yeah.
So where I was going with that is like, I know that like some people, I don't know if they're actually dying of COVID, but what I do know is that, you know, of the people dying of COVID, only 0.7% of them don't have any underlying conditions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that means that of the 1% that are dying, that catch it, apparently, that are dying, which is actually less than that because we're not testing everyone.
Yeah.
Only 0.7% of those people are healthy people. Right? So do we think that we've done a bunch of damage to healthy people that apparently this virus would not do? Most definitely. And like you said, like, when does it end? Like, it's, I don't know, to me, it seems really clear that we've done way more damage than this virus could have done.
Yep.
Like we would have never known, I would have never been able to say this to you in March. But, you know, I've done like a lot of research on this now, and so have a lot of people. And that's why people are starting to wake up, because the data is out there. Like you just have to go find it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty scary. But I got water filters and I got Bitcoin. So
yeah, the Bitcoin thing's an interesting one. There's a podcast I listen to, and he always talks about Bitcoin. He's like, "Get your Bitcoin, people. It's going to be the thing." And I'm like, "Fuck, I don't know anything about it, so I might have to do a little bit of research." It's interesting that you talk about it. Yeah.
Well, I read a book on it 4 years ago, and when I was done reading, I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh fuck, Bitcoin's at $2,500. I missed the boat." That's literally what I thought. And then a year later, it was at 5,000, And a buddy of mine was like, dude, it's going to shoot way up, man. You need to buy some right now. By the time I set up an account, it was at 10,000, and then it crashed. And everyone said, just wait. Don't sell anything. Just wait. It's coming back. And it took 2 years, but it's now double what it was the last high.
Wow. So it's still pretty solid.
Oh yeah. Well, and if you like the way that you can think of it, like if how much money was circulating, I forget. But basically the way that you can figure out how much it could go to, there's 21 million Bitcoins that will ever exist. That's how it works. Okay, so it's like gold. It doesn't have like an infinite number, right? Gold there's only so much on Earth. And once if we destroy it or if we send it out into space, then that's it. It's gone, right? So there's only 21 million Bitcoin. And so if you divide the total amount of money and of wealth on Earth by 21 million, that's how much a Bitcoin is going to be worth if everyone shifts to that, right? And so, and that number is massive.
Wow. So you've really done your research on it.
Yeah. I was like really into it for 6 months, like in 2017.
Okay.
Like I was into like blockchain and things like that, and research how the whole like algorithm works, like why it's so secure, how like no one can penetrate it, like even the government couldn't go and take your Bitcoin and stuff like that. The only problem with it is that you are now, how do you say, you're responsible for your own wealth. Like if you go to if the bank gets robbed, like you still have your money because they're insured and they're insuring your stuff, right? But if somebody comes in here and steals your Bitcoin, you're fucked, right? Like if all your money is in Bitcoin and somebody comes in and takes your wallet, right? That's what they're called. Like they're just like electronic wallets. Then unless you're insured, which that doesn't exist yet, but surely it will at one point. Then you just lost your money.
Right.
So
because the US dollar's losing value, isn't it? Because they keep printing more money.
Ours too. Yeah, that's how everybody's like getting paid right now. Like everybody's just taking money from the government. Meanwhile, everybody's wondering why, groceries are going up. It's because our money's going down. Our government is like stealing from us, but they're masking it by giving us $2,000 a month.
Yeah, we're still paying out Job Seeker and Job Keeper down here. Don't know where the money's coming from, but that's been going most of last year and into this year. I think they're sort of cutting it back a little bit soon. But just forking it out.
Yeah, so, and they're just taking advantage of everybody who doesn't have this knowledge, because everybody in the government guarantee has Bitcoin.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So they're going to dilute everybody's money, and meanwhile they're investing into an alternative currency, and the little guy's going to get fucked like they always do.
Yeah. What happened to the Facebook currency? What were they calling that? Libra? Remember that?
I don't know.
Libra sounds familiar. I didn't know it was connected to Facebook.
Yeah. That was a little while ago, and then sort of didn't hear any more about it. I'm not sure if it got canned or.
I think it's a cryptocurrency. Libra? Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I did. I know that name.
Yeah.
But they were going to have their own currency. I did hear about that. Maybe I heard about it in that documentary, actually.
But yeah, the shift of wealth all over the world is crazy. Like the rich getting richer, poorer getting poorer. I don't know where it's going to end. So
the thing is, like, I'm totally for capitalism and people getting rich because they're adding value. But the problem right now is that like a bunch of people are just not allowed to add value. Well, like us.
Yeah. They're stopping people from earning a living and working for themselves and earning their own money.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you guys end up playing many gigs last year after we spoke, Tommy?
No, we played one gig in July for Canada Day. It was an outside gig. But the the bylaw still showed up. And I don't know. Well, they didn't shut us down, obviously. Like, it was a little bit more relaxed back then, you know.
They were just monitoring, probably just checking it out, making sure no one was getting a little too loose.
Yeah. The people were like socially distancing, which they weren't. People weren't wearing masks at that point either.
People were still dancing and stuff, and
it's so funny. There was like no cases over the summer, and now everyone's wearing a mask, and cases are like skyrocketing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it means. I don't know how accurate the test is. I don't know what's happening, but a lot of shit doesn't make sense. And I think, you know, and when you say that to somebody who's like, you know, on the far left, they're like, well, maybe we should listen to the experts. I'm like, how about you do your own thinking?
Yeah. I mean, no one wants to. No one wants to play down, you know, any sort of threat or any sort of virus, but a lot of what's going on is BS. And, you know, if you do your own research, you can see through it. And just because they're experts or science, you know, it doesn't mean it's always, I don't know, credible, I guess. You know, everything and everyone seems a bit compromised at some point, or brought and paid for, dare I say.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like the only way that we're going to get out of this is if people are allowed to make their own choices again, businesses included, right? Because, so I'll give you a scenario. Let's say the grocery store near my house decides that masks are mandatory, right?
Yep.
They will have less people shop there because people hate wearing masks, right? So people will stop shopping there. They'll go to a different shopping area where masks are not required. But then, let's say this other place that doesn't require masks has a COVID outbreak, right? And one person dies or two people die or whatever because they shopped at this thing. That information will get out, and then all the people who were scared of dying of COVID will go shop at the other grocery store, right? And that's how the world used to work, where we just like took our own lives into our own hands and managed our own risks.
Yep.
Right. But people seem to think that the government is there to protect us. But I don't know.
And
if they are really there to protect us, they're doing a shit job.
Yeah. And, you know, you get all these people saying, oh, thank you for protecting us, you know, to whichever leader is in charge of, you know, that country or state, you know, our state leader. Everyone's like, oh, thank you for protecting us. I'm like, come on, get a grip, look after yourself. I mean, you know, do the right thing and be an adult. You know, these people aren't our carers. They don't care about you.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate, and they won't. Sorry.
No, I just said you nailed it. Like, look after yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, be responsible. You know, I mean, we all make mistakes, but most of us are pretty responsible, I think, and always have been, whether it's catching the flu or, I mean, remember the days where you had a bit of a sniffle and the flu and you're still expected to come to work because, you know, taking a sickie is just a no-no unless you're on your deathbed. But now, if anyone's coughing around you or sneezing, people freak out.
No kidding, yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully I'm wrong and, you know, we're not going into either communist China or in Venezuela's situation. But like, there's like this video, I should try and find it for you. There's this like famous video in Venezuela where there's like thousands of bills of money like flying around the streets, and people are just like walking over them because it's worthless. It's like that worthless. Like they have like $100,000 like bill, and it's that worthless that people are just walking on it. They're not even picking it up. Yeah. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, like whenever we send like money to Patricia's family in Venezuela, we send Bitcoin because nothing else. Yeah.
All right. And that happened pretty quickly, didn't it?
It happened
the
over
change.
Things were doing really well. Like I think it was about 10, 15 years ago. I would have to ask her to get like the actual data, but yeah, over like the span of like, well, she moved here 14 years ago. So like it was like starting to get bad, or like her dad thought that, you know, things were not going in the right direction about 14 years ago.
Yep.
That's a pretty short time.
Yeah. So she moved to get away from that pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know, man. It's all changing. It's all changing, and it's right in front of our eyes, but a lot of people don't sort of see it, I don't think, you know.
Well, I mean, as long as you know, these conversations keep happening, like we're going to get through it. And this is the thing, like about censorship, like you just have to keep saying what you mean, or like, you know, not be afraid to speak your mind. And I think it's a slow process, because like I wouldn't have been able to have this conversation like 6 or 7 months ago, but I'm working through my own insecurities as well about like voicing my opinion. And I'm perfectly willing to defend my ideas with data, and I'm perfectly also willing to change my mind if the person I'm talking to has, you know, some good data as well.
Yeah, which means that, you know, you're willing to have that conversation and not just have your opinion and shut down the other person. Like you actually want to hear what they say, even if they might be wrong, and you can help them with facts and data to help them see that they're possibly wrong. And that's the way it should be. It's not like you're trying to censor them, you know. So it's it's not good to create these sort of echo chambers of the same opinion and the same beliefs and cast everyone else aside like they're just, you know, terrible people.
Exactly.
It's not healthy.
The unfortunate thing is that like it's really easy to just yell at somebody with 250 characters, but it's not that hard or not that easy to have these types of conversations and face your own ignorance, right? Because like, sure, we agree on most things, so this conversation is going like pretty easy. But if you were of the other camp, let's say, then this conversation would be a lot more difficult, right?
It'd be over. I would have cut you off a long time ago.
Well, I mean, I had those difficult conversations, you know, like when we were in fact, like we just got back from Vancouver a few months ago recording, and you know, the engineer who was recording us had a completely different ideology about the whole situation, and there was some tense moments, you know, about some stuff. And so some of those conversations didn't, you know, well, they went okay, but it was just hard to like, I don't know, like.
Well, it was just more difficult than a normal conversation, but I just know from experience that not talking about shit in the long run is a disaster. It's like you're just asking for it, you know? Yeah, sure, it was it took an hour. The two of us like chatted, and he said his opinion, I said mine. And, you know, I had my data, he had his, and we hashed it out, and it was uncomfortable. What's the word that you used? You said,
for me?
Yeah, well, how did you describe the conversation?
It was just tense.
Tense, right. Yeah.
It was tense. Just like this underlying tense feeling, like, you know,
like
what Tommy was saying to the guy, he wasn't really wanting to really open up and listen to Tommy's point of view. and that kind of thing, you know, like that's why it took an hour, you know.
Yeah.
Really things laid out.
But it's so important to say what you think, and you know, and I was uncomfortable the whole time, but I would rather that than be like walking on eggshells for like 5 days. We were there recording for 5 days and not saying my opinion. So, but unfortunately, well, I hope I'm wrong about this, but unfortunately, a lot of people would rather walk on eggshells for months, I guess.
Yeah, it never used to be like this, I don't think. I mean, sure, it would happen, but this seems pretty common now that like there's no middle ground. You're either on that side or you're on the other side. You know, like earlier you said you're like a centrist. I consider myself the same, trying to approach things with, you know, a reasonable sort of common sense. I'm not extreme either way, but sometimes that's not allowed either. You know, you've got to be one way or the other. And I don't think it used to be like that. So I'm just wondering what's really, you know, ramped this divide up. I think it's the media across the world. I mean, you just got to turn on your news wherever you are and see that they're telling you a story, not the story. So, you know, they're trying to tell you the narrative that they want you to take, and a lot of people just take it. But so I blame the media for this sort of divide, or it's just like a vicious sort of division that's happening across the world. I think.
Yeah, well, I agree. Like the media is definitely not helping, and it sounds like you really don't need to watch that documentary, to be honest with you. Like even using like some of the language that is in the, like when you said echo chamber earlier, I was just like, wow, it sounds like he actually watched it. Yeah, I think the media for sure, but also like, damn, like our leaders, like.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is I don't even know how to fix it. Like I've thought about this a lot, and I'm like, man, I'm so tired of hearing what's wrong with no solution. And I'm trying to figure out like, how do we get good people into government? And I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's crazy times. So let's talk about steel toe boots.
Yeah. Whoops. How did we go down that rabbit hole? So you guys also released another single late last year called "Nowhere to Go."
Yeah, that's right. So we try to make that as non-political as possible.
Good.
You know, trying to just relate to people without telling them like what we think is right, because we don't fucking know. Like, sure, all three of us are in agreement, but we could be wrong. You know?
Yeah, we're just dudes. We're just having a chat, and we're just sort of talking about what we've heard. Doesn't mean we know everything and that we're 100% right, but you know, we're talking with the knowledge that we've got. So
yeah, and so I really didn't want to come across the song like lyrically like you know, don't whatever. Well, I don't even believe this anyways, but what was I going to say? Like open up businesses or some shit like that. Like, you know, even though I do think that that's what we should do right now. Like, I don't want the music to be about that, because I don't want to be fighting people on Facebook with our music. Cause like, that's not what I want for my life. Like I'm sure it could gain some traction, but yeah.
It's also like, that's not what our motto as the band is about. Is, you know, we're just trying to like make people feel good.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what we really try and strive for.
Yeah. Which I think you do, like with your social media. Like I said, you guys have way too much fun, and it's it's fun to watch. So I think you're achieving what you're setting out to do. And I think, you know, politics mixed with music, I've never been a fan. Like even, you know, in the earlier days of like U2 and that sort of thing, anytime those two crossed, it just put me, you know, I wasn't interested. So
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't get too tangled up these days. You know, I definitely don't want my music tangled up in politics either, or you know, my name as a musician tied up in politics. So, you know, two separate things for me.
Yeah, I know. I think so too. Like we've definitely written a few, well, yeah, a few like over this past year that have like, you know, are talking about the current situation. But like I was saying earlier, like I'm really happy that right now what we're releasing has nothing to do with current world affairs, because it's a, you know, it's a nice break. It's a nice break to, you know, like it's fine to have a conversation like this and to talk about it. But if your song is about that and your art is your life, then that means like every minute of every day is now political.
Yeah.
This is all we do, right? Like, I mean, Paul teaches drums and I'm doing like landscaping now, but all I think about is the carbons.
Yeah.
Right. And so if the carbons get political, then that's all I'm going to think about all day. And, you know, I do think it's important to talk about, but I don't think I want that to be like my brain, my whole brain.
I think people need to get away with it. So they need, well, music as an aspect to take their mind off, you know, everything else they're tangled up in, whether it be politics or whatever. That's why I get annoyed at movies that clearly push a certain agenda or whatever. I mean, it's pretty obvious these days.
I just watched this like best comedy 2020, and it was so fucking clear that they were pushing this like diversity agenda. Did you see it?
No, no.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Like some of the guys, I don't even remember whether they were white, Hispanic, black, whatever. Some people were so fucking funny, but some were just not funny at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, they only put this person here because she's a minority and they're trying to like, you know, make it as equal outcome as possible. I'm like, this is not the best of 2020. This is like, oh, one good one, three bad ones, one good one, three bad ones. And I'm just like, ugh. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's so obvious when you see what they're trying to do sometimes, and you got to turn it off. Like, you need to give people a break from this stuff and just let things breathe for what they are, whether it be music or movies, and just keep it creative and just let it be what it's going to be. And people need that escape from all this politics rubbish.
Well, I was thinking of changing our Instagram bio actually, and making it something like that, like come escape with us type of thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm doing for the next 3 months, man. I'm just escaping.
Yeah, it's hard to do it though, isn't it? Because you get tied up in it one way or another, whether it's online or in your actual real life, depending what job you do, or down at the supermarket or something like that. But
yeah, dude. We got like a skiing pass this year, like my girlfriend and I, and to try and get away, but it's like it's political there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's seeped into everything, I think. So all around the world. Yeah. I before I jumped online with you guys, just before I was going through my emails, and I'm subscribed to this thing called Digital Music News, and you know, they often talk about streaming and other things, and I saw that Spotify is removing hundreds of thousands of indie tracks over artificial stream violations. So like 750,000 tracks have been pulled off Spotify because of these artificial stream violations. I thought that was interesting because I know I've talked to you, Tommy, about, you know, using playlist push and a few other things. And obviously the more research you do, the more Google throws up these ads about artificial, or they don't advertise it as artificial streams, but, you know, pushing streams on Facebook that aren't legit.
Right.
I I get hundreds of those ads just pop up that look dodgy as. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. Obviously, a lot of people, give some of those a try, and Spotify have flagged it and pulled their tracks down, I guess. So yeah. So these bands aren't happy, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Down.
I mean, I watched this one guy. His name's Damian Keys. I think I must have mentioned him to you last time.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
Yeah. So he did a video on it, and basically, like, he looked into a couple artists that had messaged him that got their tracks pulled off, and they were paying for streams, basically, right? So whether it's a bot or whatever, I don't know, but I'm a little worried about it, but I think all the systems that we're using are legit.
Yeah.
And and if they're not, and Spotify takes down like our music, for example, I mean, yeah, actually it would be bad. It would suck. But we could just re-release it. I mean, just re-release the music.
Maybe I'll send you this article, but I'm not sure if I think DistroKid are trying to sort of counter it somehow.
Oh yeah.
I haven't read right into it, but I thought I should mention it. Be an interesting thing to talk about, but yeah, you'd be pretty devastated, because the streams aren't easy to get, and if you've been screwed over, it's a pretty shit feeling, I'd say.
Well, I mean, like, and it's not cheap to advertise either.
No.
Like, it's cheaper than ever, sure. Like, but it's like advertising on Facebook is not easy. Like, you have to learn it. You have to learn how to do it properly. And then you're only getting like, a third of a cent per stream. So what you should be advertising for is fans, not streams. But I don't know enough about why Spotify did that and who they targeted or how they did it. I'd love to read the article.
I'll send it through.
Cool. What I heard from Damien is that they basically targeted all these low quality streams. So whether it's like bots or something like that, it's kind of like what Facebook did, right? They removed like 1 billion accounts, or was it 5 billion fake accounts or something like that? Yeah. So I think it's a good thing. But I don't know anybody who has had their like songs removed, right?
Yeah.
One thing I
don't know
like everybody that has added your song to a playlist, right? And they're just listening to it now. All of that goes away. So that is fucking terrible, right?
Yeah.
Sure, you can re-release the song, but then you have to like just re-reach all these people again to try and add your song to their playlist.
Yeah. It's a bit scary, but there are a lot of, I think the more research you do, the more you can tell which one of the sort of spammy ones that you should stay away from. I think there's a lot of good, legit ones. That Damian Keys guy, he's really interesting to talk to. Like, I checked out a few of his videos after I spoke to you last time, and it's just a wealth of knowledge. So thank you for dropping his name.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a rock and roller, like punk dude. He likes Foo Fighters and John Mayer. So I was just like, man, I'm sold.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also read that I think one of your Canadian locals, Neil Young, he became the latest artist to sell his song rights. So I think a few artists have done that lately, which I find sort of interesting.
He sold what?
He sold his song rights.
To who?
So, Hypnosis. I don't know what Hypnosis recently announced its acquisition of 50% stake in the one 180 track catalog of Neil Young, including the publishing and songwriting rights. So,
Wow. How old's Neil
yeah.
Young though? He's probably about like.
He's not too young anymore.
Yeah, he's old, right?
Yeah,
he
I
probably.
just find it interesting.
Yeah.
You know, why now?
Yeah, why now? Well, I mean, if he's about to die, unless he has like kids, I don't know what his family tree looks like, but yeah, unless he was gonna have like heirs, he probably was just like, yeah, I'll just cash this in. Maybe he's buying Bitcoin.
Yeah, maybe. he's done his research and now he's like, oh shit, I should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there is a cryptocurrency that I forget what it's called. I think it's like Musi Max or something like that. That's basically looking to replace Spotify with like blockchain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't looked into them for a while now. Like this was back in 2017 when I was like really into it. But yeah, there's like all sorts of blockchain companies that are basically going to take over the internet. You know? Yeah. There was like, there was one that was a currency. It was like the Pornhub blockchain edition type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's another one that is like a video platform, right? So it's just like, it's going to be the new YouTube. So
is that Rumble?
Rumble? Oh, do you mean?
That's a alternate video platform is Rumble.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't remember what all of them are called. Like there's hundreds of of coins of blockchains and stuff like that. So I don't know what all of them are called, but I just know that this is not the Bitcoin is like the currency, but the blockchain is the technology, and that's going to be what replaces what we have right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a good Christmas?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was nice, man.
Yeah.
I just relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I actually went to Montreal, which is like on the other side of the country for us. It's kind of like somebody in Adelaide going to Sydney, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's a little further than that. That's where all my family lives. And so I illegally traveled to see my family.
I was going to say, are you guys allowed to travel across country?
The airport's open.
You are. It's just like, I guess, like frowned upon, I guess you can say. But I guess they're open, so I guess you can go. You know.
Yeah. Some of our borders have come down again. So state borders. Some of our state borders have come down again.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's what I did. It was rejuvenating, man. Like that's what I was telling you. Like I took 2 weeks off of social media, spent some time with my mom, and she rented like a cabin out in the woods. So I just brought a guitar and a deck of cards, and we played like crib, and I sang her some songs. I actually wrote her a song during quarantine, and so I played her that and had a little bit of a cry, and then New Year's I drank 48 Coronas with my brother. Over 2 days, I think. Yeah. It was hilarious actually. I was like, man, this would be a really good TikTok video. Like put out like 20 cans and like put them in the shape of like 2-0, and then another 20 cans. Or 20 Coronas. They weren't cans, they were actually bottles, and just be like, goodbye 2020, and just smack the shit out of it.
Oh yeah. That'd be a great idea.
Call like dominoes, like, you know, that would be less dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
he didn't let me do it. Because like
let you do it?
In his house illegally, and so he's like, "Oh, don't make a scene."
Oh right, yeah, okay. Behave yourself.
Yeah, I could get famous for this, man. Come on.
Is it winter over there at the moment?
Yeah.
In Canada?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're in summer over here, so it's nice to get some sun and we still have to wear masks most of the time, but not outside anymore, which is fantastic. That was a thing for a while, which wasn't easy.
Right.
So yeah, nice to get some sun. I've got some time off coming up in mid-Feb, so I'm hoping to get down to the beach and do my redhead at the beach thing, just 10 minutes out in the sun and then I'm back in the shade. So
Yeah.
So hey, did you guys want to play a song there? I think you got some guitars in the background there. Yeah? Let's do it.
I'll take it. I'm just kidding. You play, man.
Oh, do I have an egg shaker for you? Oh, there's a tambo in the living room.
Like the foot tams?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think I know where it is.
Huh?
Just grab the dishes.
Is that standard tuning, Tommy?
No, it's a half step down.
Oh yeah, I use that too.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think I'm a tenor for my vocals, and so this just helps me reach like I can get to a G sharp like decently okay, but once I get to an A, my voice like struggles a little bit. So yeah. So then I tune half a step down. And I can play in all the regular keys like D, A, G, stuff like that, right?
Okay. Yeah, I think the half step, it's only half a step, but I think it gives the acoustic guitar in particular like a really nice tone, I find. And it sort of helps me with my voice too. So I've kept it in that for quite a few years now.
Yeah. Once I figured that out, I was like, holy shit, it's so much easier to sing.
Yeah.
That's why Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan did it, I guess.
Yeah, I think a lot of Guns N' Roses did it. I've been playing a lot of open C6 tuning. I just picked a random, odd tuning, and I've been writing a few songs in that, which has been really cool. So nice. And it feels really nice on an acoustic guitar. The strings are slackened a bit, and it feels really good. So hoping to record probably one of those when I've got some time off. So yeah.
Nice, man.
So what are you going to play?
I think I'm going to play Nowhere to Go.
Before we start, go into the audio settings for a quick second.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What's going to happen is when the tambourine starts hitting,
right.
Go to audio settings.
Right here.
Go scroll down. Find advanced. Right down
the bottom. Okay. Echo cancellation.
No, don't worry about that here. Sorry. I'll be like...
Yeah.
I do this all the time.
I got my audio engineer with me.
Yeah.
Is that this one?
There we go. I want to just take that off.
Low, faint background.
Weird. It won't.
What?
Interesting. Never mind. Okay. Usually you can just
hit it lightly.
Usually you can just disable the whole thing and then it's good, but that's all good. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, just hit it lightly.
Yeah.
All right, this is Nowhere to Go.
Let's do it.
Inspired by you guys' lockdown, actually.
Oh.
There's tumbleweeds in the streets of Manhattan and Melbourne again. The windows are boarded up down in LA. It's your city. to say. There's nowhere to go. Nobody knows when this will end. Michael said he just saw something flying, scanning his face. Uniforms in the street are patrolling, keeping us safe. There's nowhere to go. Nobody knows when this will end. There's nowhere to go. Nobody knows when this will end. Should I be afraid to breathe? I wanna go back to how things used to be. Should I be ashamed to speak? I wanna go back to how things used to be. But there's nowhere to go. And I wanna know if this will end. There's nowhere to go. Nobody knows when this will end. There's nowhere to go. And I'm losing hope that this will end. Oh, oh,
Woohoo! Cue the clapping. Woohoo! Cool.
Oh yeah, there's an emoticon clap.
To the right, to the right. Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't mute my mic before I started, so hopefully that came out okay on your end.
Yep, came out good.
Okay, sweet.
Fun fact,
Lucky you
we
got-
actually recorded that song right in here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we did.
Like we recorded the drums on this electric kit that was like sitting right beside us.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
Lucky you got the wheels on the chair there, Tommy. You pulled back a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw like a little blinker and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that might be. Yeah. So it's back.
Awesome. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, man.
No problem.
It's a great
Yeah.
song.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we're excited to play that one live. Fuck.
It's a fun one to play.
Yeah.
Like we've been practicing it, and
Yeah.
it's just fun to play.
It's so fun. Yeah. We well, Paul actually came up with like a way of like playing it live,
Okay.
where he starts off with like this beat. What song does it remind you of?
Oh, like I did this whole like won't get fooled again, you know, by the Who, that big drum intro thing that happens, and we were
Yeah,
just
awesome.
on jam, and I just kept, you know, like, do. Shit, and just keep going, and then we bust into the song. It's actually second one, you know,
Wicked.
worked pretty well.
Cool. Who are your influences, Paul? Like on the drums?
Well, yeah,
Queens of the Stone Age, yeah.
So, you know, like, but I like all Queens of the Stone Age's drummers, like everywhere from from Dave Grohl to John Theodore and Joey Castillo. Those guys are up there. But I love Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers. Like I've looked up to him since I was like 10. And John Bonham, Stuart Copeland. I have a wide variety of drummers that I really like, but I would say Chad Smith, John Bonham, and Stuart Copeland are like my favorite top three drummers. But I do have in my notepad on my phone like my list of favorite drummers, and it's like 50 of them. It keeps growing.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I have to add because I keep seeing Soundgarden, but I really love Matt Cameron too. Like, he's one of my favorites. Like again, he's in the list, but yeah. I mean, he's been a big drummer in two big bands, Soundgarden and Pearl Jam. So he's done pretty well, Matt Cameron. Oh, and Temple of the Dog, of course. Yeah, exactly.
I actually chucked on some Chili Peppers the other day for the first time in a little while. I think it was their latest album, I'm With You, I think, with the little pill and the bee on the front cover.
That's their like second latest album. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the one that Frusciante was on, and then he left, and then they made the Getaway album with Danger Mouse, who did like Black production for Black Keys and Gorillaz and stuff like that.
Yeah. I had forgotten about the Chili Peppers, I think, for a little while. When these bands just sort of slip to the back of your playlist, and it's all of a sudden been a little while before, since you've heard them, and then you chuck them back on and you're like, oh, yes, I need this. So,
that's what Audio Slave was for me this year. Once I decided to do that cover, well, I guess I started listening to it before, but when I got in my head, okay, I'm going to do like the cover of Like a Stone, then I was just like listening to Audio Slave, Soundgarden, Chris Cornell, like his acoustic stuff on repeat. Yeah.
It's
years,
it's a big rabbit hole, isn't it? Like there's so much material there from so many different sort of bands and aspects of his musical career. It's pretty incredible. I hope I can leave a legacy like that behind one day. A massive body of music. So
well, that's kind of what we decided on right before we released Nowhere to Go. We kind of put the brakes on things over the summer because of this whole COVID thing. We're just like, fuck, we don't know what we should be doing. Like we have all these songs, but like maybe we should wait to release them because there's no way to monetize things right now for musicians. I mean, except for selling merch online and having like, Patreon, like that helps, but it's not like 95% of our income was coming from shows. Right. So we're just like, fuck, should we continue releasing music? And then, right before, I think it was in September or maybe even before that in August, we were just like, well, we love releasing music and we love making music. And right now we're depressed because we're not doing that. So, so we decided, fuck it, we're just going to release it and, trying to set aside the fear that like, these are the best songs we'll ever make. Because I've had that fear multiple times and it seems to never be true. I just keep, every new song that I write, people around me are saying like, well, that's your best song. and so I'm just like, oh really? Fuck. I thought my best song was like 2 years ago.
Keeps getting better. So keep releasing them.
Yeah, I guess. Well, and the thing is like, what's the alternative? Like not release anymore? Even if it was true, like, what am I going to do? Like hold on to it forever till like the right time? It's like, no, like I want to keep doing this, keep writing.
Have you got plans for an album release, or are you just going to keep doing the singles thing for the moment?
Well, we recorded the remainder of the songs for our next album. At least like all the drums and I would say most of the guitars. Most of the vocals except for one song. So we're chipping away at that as fast as we can while trying to release music. But yeah, we applied for a bunch of grants like late 2020. So if we get those, then we'll be releasing it faster. If we don't get them, then we'll probably release in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully things look. Yeah. Yep.
Well, yeah, we're like really excited for this next album, and a few of our fans have been asking for it for a while now because it's been it's going to be 3 years since our first album in May.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely time. I mean, it's not like we haven't released anything since then, right? Like we're still like releasing music. We just haven't released an album, right? And there are a few people who really love albums. And so, we have to try and look out for them whilst, trying to maintain like, proper growth and look out for our finances and stuff like that. Like, sure, if we were as successful as the Foo Fighters or Taylor Swift, we could just put out 2 albums in a year. But unfortunately, we're not rich.
Yeah, because you want to be able to.
Point though, like.
You want to be able to tour. If you're going to release an album, you want to be able to really get behind it and play a whole bunch of shows and possibly tour, not just release it and then do the online thing. You really need to sort of get out there and play some shows.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it was back in November. I was thinking, okay, well, we're going to have a show in January. Like it was supposed to be next week. And sure, it'll be like super low capacity. And it's not going to make us any money, basically. But at least we'll have a show, we'll film it, and then we'll put it on our, on our Patreon. And so hopefully we can get, a little bit of money that way. But now we can't even have shows with any people. Like zero. And I mean, who wants to watch that? Who wants to watch us jam? Like, I just watched that basketball game like the other day with like no people in the stands, and I was like, "This is boring."
It's like weird. Yeah, it's like you need, half of that deal is having the crowd being the atmosphere to that whole thing. So it's just like watching a practice game or something. It's weird.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Florida.
Yeah, unless you're in Florida where everything's open.
People are just like going, like I watched like a football game, people are like in Florida just still in the stands and stuff. I'm like, holy shit.
Fuck, that's where we should move to.
There's people there. It was weird. I was
just thinking that. That's the place to be at, by the sounds of it, is Florida.
People don't give a fuck down there, man.
Yeah.
They're literally like, nah, we're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah. I haven't checked like how many deaths they've had or anything like that, but it's there's a lot of old people in Florida.
Yeah, it's a retirement.
Yeah.
The governor is pretty good down there. Like he's making sure the older people get the vaccine first.
Right.
But he's keeping businesses open and everything. And I don't think it's any worse than any of the other states that are just totally shut down, like California and that sort of thing.
Oh my God. I don't even want to start talking about California. Fuck.
Yeah.
Ghost town.
Yeah. Tent.
Yeah, it's so sad to see, man. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
I hope that Texas stays okay, but it's so funny. Like they almost went blue this year. People almost voted like Democrat, and so
parts of it are blue. Like Austin and that. I think, yeah. But yeah.
I wonder what Texas is like. I think Texas is probably similar to Florida, but yeah, I haven't looked in long enough. But I'm definitely thinking about moving somewhere. We were talking about moving to Australia, but it sounds like you guys are going into lockdown again.
Yeah, it's I don't know, like, it's only been a few cases that have sprung up, but straight away, like there's crackdown. So there's not heaps of cases, but the government hand comes down and borders go up, restrictions go up, and at the moment we're not too bad, but it's just, I feel like it's a matter of time. Once we hit winter or something, I think we'll be in another lockdown during the winter once we get past summer.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, I've got some quick fire questions for you guys before I let you go.
Do it.
If you want to take turns, maybe we'll start with Paul.
Sure.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Awkward. And probably awkward.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if you can ask me the questions, because now I have like some prep time.
Hard, dude.
Tomy, Netflix or Stan?
Or Stan?
Stan.
What's Stan?
Stan. Haven't you got Stan over in Canada?
No.
No? Really?
No.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's a dud question then. I didn't know that.
Yes, I get all the easy ones.
Yeah, I thought that was worldwide, but obviously not. All right, well, Netflix or Amazon Prime then?
Oh, Netflix.
Yeah.
For sure.
I disagree.
Fuck Amazon.
Well, I guess you can both answer these questions. It's not really black coffee or white coffee.
Black coffee.
Black coffee.
Apple Music or Spotify.
Spotify.
Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
God damn, yeah, Led Zeppelin. Sorry, Floyd.
Yeah. No, I'm there too. I'm a Zeppelin man. Pearl Jam or Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Pearl Jam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which album?
That one was tougher, but yeah.
Nah, Pearl Jam. Yeah, I love Nirvana, but I really connect with Pearl Jam. I'm all about them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Which album in particular, or just as a collective?
I love the Yield. That album changed my life. Yeah.
Okay.
Jack Irons on the drums. I don't know. Something about it.
Yeah.
It's raw. I don't know. That's what I think I loved about it, is that those guys just went in and just started writing and came out with this album that was pretty different. But yeah, the Yield album, really, really good.
It was a good era, I think, around there. What was that, like the late 90s or?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I still haven't got into their first album, funnily enough. Like, that's not one that I'll go back and listen to, but I know that's I think still their biggest album, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 for sure. Yeah, there's lots of good songs on 10, but I mean, like, I also like binaural. I like all their shit, man. I don't know what it was. It's like, fuck, this is heavy. This is cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't given them a proper chance. It's so funny. Like, a lot of people compare us to Pearl Jam all the time. Mostly for my vocals, I think, but also some people have said like the way that I write guitars. But I never grew up with Pearl Jam. Really, it was more like, nice.
That was actually one of I really enjoyed the Lost Dogs album.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard that.
It's like B-sides and shit, I think. So had some really good stuff on there.
It's had the good B-side stuff,
Yeah. All right, so back to the questions. Where are we? iPhone or Samsung?
iPhone.
Samsung.
Undies or boxers?
Boxers.
What is undies? Is that like briefs?
Underpants.
Oh. Well, yeah, underpants. Wait.
Yeah, like briefs, undies for me.
You mean briefs?
Yeah.
Or do you mean
like tighter boxers? That's what I would wear.
Oh yeah, same then. Yeah, we call them briefs.
All right, okay. Cultural differences here.
Yeah.
Do you take a set list on stage?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
And what was the other one? Fold or scrunch?
Fold.
Toilet paper.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, fold. Yeah, fold. It's like, what is he?
I thought about laundry for a quick second. I was thinking about like, oh, I totally fold my clothes after laundry, and I don't just scrunch them.
Yeah, it's so funny. Fold the toilet paper, but I scrunch my underwear and socks.
Oh man. Well, thank you very much, guys. Lovely to chat with you.
Yes.
Go and check out the new single and the new video, Steel Toe Boots by the Carbons. We'll chuck all the links in the show notes. Yes, escape with them.
Weirdness.
Away from all the. Let's just get.
Gosh, looks like
I know.
Oh, do you know who JP Sears is?
Yes.
Oh, you look like a better looking version of JP Sears.
I've been watching a lot of him lately. Actually, he's been spot on the money.
Yeah. Sorry, you're trying to end your podcast, and I'm starting a new conversation.
That's okay. That's a interesting comparison. So thank you.
He's fit as fuck too, man.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He's doing a lot of his ads at the end of his sketches, I guess you'd call them, selling products and stuff, fitness products. So yeah. No, lovely to have you guys on. And new single Steel Toe Boots out, and the video, it will be in the show notes. And go and say hi to the guys in the Carbons. And I don't know, probably won't see you in Australia anytime soon, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, fingers crossed, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, let's hope this year looks a bit better.
Thanks to all your audience for listening in, and yeah.
Thanks, man.
Cool. All right. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
See you, dude.
See ya. You're listening to Foxx on the Wire.